Welcome back, YouTubers, to the night after 9/16/12 with us, the British Fist.
Catching
That Damien 7/9/12. Sorry, it's 9/17/12, I should say. I'm getting my dates all wrong here. I'm Mr. Parkin. This guy's none other than NJ, everybody.
what's up?
As you can tell, I'm a little bit tired. Subscribe above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on this edition of Raw down in the comment section below. I could really use some monster, NJ.
And make sure you contact us in the link in the box below.
Yes, indeed. So, like I said, the night after 9/16/12, the day that Terminator NJ got a YouTube. You guys should probably go subscribe to that YouTube channel in the links in the description box below, as NJ said before. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to be offering us on that channel. Should be pure entertainment / death.
Because that's the thing, because we've all been waiting for this one day to arrive. It's arrived. Yes, Night of Champions was pretty good, but this Terminator NJ's on YouTube, so who knows what's coming next.
Well, it seemed to be all changed on the YouTube front. It also seemed to be all changed on the WWE front as well. I mean, it seemed like WWE were taking this Raw to end a lot of feuds and also start a lot of new feuds. We had a lot of new feuds started in tonight's show. Going into Hell in a Cell, which is 6 weeks away. Which is a bit, it's like 6 weeks to build to Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell, as much as it is a big match, it's not really a big pay-per-view because they, in a way, waste the big concept of Hell in a Cell. So building up 6 weeks to a pay-per-view like that is kind of unfair to the pay-per-views that actually mean something.
Like Survivor Series, for example, which you could use the 6 weeks to build to. But we'll ignore that for now. We open up the show with none other than Paul Heyman. Doesn't have his own music, does he? He just comes out to CM Punk's music. He invites the referee from last night's main event to defend his decision, which he does very gracefully, and talks about how people still refuse to give Punk respect despite the fact that he is still the best in the world.
With Heyman doing all the speaking, I'm expecting more from this. As much as we should be trying to get Punk over, Heyman's here to help Punk out. It's helped to build up something bigger. So the more mic time we get from Heyman, the better.
I am the voice of the voice of the voice of the voices of the voiceless. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. But yeah, Paul Heyman is the voice of the voiceless, apparently, so they're reliving that gimmick from last year. Then you get Del Rio coming out, saying that he feels he definitely deserves a rematch after losing to Sheamus for the 3rd straight pay-per-view in a row.
And Del Rio coming out, when I saw this, I really thought he's lost his chance to get one belt, so he's going to go after another. And I really felt the way he was coming up to Cena, who was talking about Punk, I really thought this was going to be a next #1 contendership, but instead it went down a different direction. Yeah,
I mean, we had Cena coming out as well, talking about he deserving his rematch after the draw as well. And AJ makes Punk and Del Rio versus Cena and Sheamus. AJ Lee looking very hot in a schoolgirl outfit. Back to school indeed, motherfuckers.
Tag!
Tag! Tag! Tag! Tag! Tag! Tag! Tag! Tag! Tag! No tags backs! Thank you, I won that game.
Tag!
No, I said no tag backs, NJ, for God's sake.
Yeah, tag match for the main event. Oh, yeah. yes, great. SmackDown style all the way for Raw. Yes,
there was probably that many tags in the whole of the show. Good news, Jerry Lawler is back home in Memphis. Next week we're going to get a nice interview with Jerry Lawler. I look forward to that. His good buddy Michael Cole giving that interview. And JBL and Jim Ross filled up the other 2 spaces on commentary. 3 commentators.
I really didn't think we needed it. I think they could have stuck what was advertised through the internet with Jim Ross. JBL's a special thing for the pay-per-view. If he wants to come in full-time, maybe he should go on to SmackDown, become a full-time SmackDown commentator with Michael Cole and stick to Jim Ross and Cole, probably on Raw or something like that. This got a bit 3 commentators which weren't needed, but it was good to see a nice rounded table here.
Especially with Jim Ross in there as well. I do miss Jim Ross on commentary sometimes, especially when I watch NXT and I see that he still does have it on commentary. The first match of the evening was Epico and Primo versus Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio. It seems like they definitely want to push Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio as some kind of tag team now, really, doesn't it? The way they've always been put on TV as a tag team, and now they're out of the IC title feud, I imagine. So,
well, the way they've done this is pretty nicely done, because even though they fought against each other at the pay-per-view, they're coming to still be friends, building up something here. And the way they teased it here, going against a tag team that's been around for a little while now, is definitely teasing a possibility that they're going to be building up towards the tag titles.
And then maybe a WrestleMania match between Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio. Sin Cara gets the pin in this match on one of the ecos, I don't really know. And then you get the surprise attack of the primetime players coming out and attacking Ray and Sin Cara, saying they're a bit pissed off about getting their #1 contendership taken away from them. That makes sense from a logical standpoint. Giving a second tag team feud maybe for a #1 contendership down the line.
And that is true. I think that is the way they're going to go. Try and keep the primetime players somewhat important. Yeah. Okay, whatever. But the thing is, the question is there's an obvious answer, but when I first saw this, the first question I said is, who are you trying to put over? The primetime players who have been in the tag team run but never actually got the belts, or Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio, who are hopefully going to be up to WrestleMania match? So there's two logic on who do you want to actually push to go towards the belt. I
guess now that they had Daniel Bryan and Kane take the #1 contendership spot, they're not going to put primetime players back in there, surely now. They're probably going to use the Rey. There's more potential to be gained out of that Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara partnership than there is the primetime players right now, especially after they lost Abraham Washington. Eve versus Beth Phoenix was a very quick match. Why is Beth Phoenix doing jobs to Eve Torres in about a minute?
Beth Phoenix is one of the divas that people can compliment, because she's one of the divas that stands out, the diva you want to do well in the WWE. And when she goes into a match against Eve, just because she's the Divas champion does not mean the championship is making Eve extra strong to beat Beth Phoenix. So this match, we always complain about Divas match, but this one I'm going to complain about that just extra bit more, because Beth Phoenix should not have done this.
No, and Layla was on commentary as well. I kind of forgot for a minute Eve Torres was the Divas champion, if I'm honest with you, so we'll just move on. Brodus Clay had another squash match against Heath Slater, but it seems like they're moving Brodus Clay into a US title feud. They had Antonio Cesaro on commentary after that little confrontation on SmackDown. Do you feel a Brodus Clay and Cesaro feud could at least maybe solidify some kind of US title, feud we could maybe be interested in? At least they're getting both of these guys in feuds now.
The thing is, we have at the pay-per-view Cesaro versus Ryder. That was the match that obviously finished and Cesaro won. Just because of a little thing on SmackDown, Cesaro feels the need to be at commentary while Brodus Clay's wrestling. I just thought that was a bit rare. But I do see if they continue this, there's going to be something between Brodus Clay and Cesaro. Will I care? No, because one, Brodus Clay's had nothing really standing out for him apart from the dancing. Cesaro, he's been rushed towards this US Championship, so in a way, it may be a good feud for them, but I just don't really care.
I think it will be a good feud. Whether I'll care or not will depend on how the WWE writes it, but Brodus Clay gets the victory here, and Cesaro, I guess, had a bit of a bone to pick with him after what happened on SmackDown, so yeah, that's the US title feud going forward, we'd imagine, pushing a nice bit of Brodus Clay down our throats again. In our main event, we had a new concept. It wasn't the WWE Network, it was Miz TV with guest Booker T. That was an interesting concept, wasn't it?
The thing about this is that obviously they do like this because we've had loads, highlight reel, Piper's Pit, we've had Edge as one. There's so many going on, so I think using Miz, who's a great talk on the mic, yes, we want him to cut promos before matches, after matches, but having his own segment on Raw that we can see probably weekly, it's something I personally could look forward to. Booker T being your first choice, it's more of a SmackDown thing, but again, in the result of this, I guess it stood out.
I mean, we saw where this led to. Miz, you had Miz on Booker T's ass saying that he misses being in the centre of attention, his time is over. Then you have Booker T introducing Ryback, and he trashes Miz's TV studio, whatever you want to call it. And you kind of think to yourself, Ryback in a US title feud with Miz could be. I mean, it's a way. At least it's a way of progressing Ryback up the card into some kind of meaningful mid-card feud.
Well, Ryback, again, I still think that someone like Sandow could be going this way because he's worthy of one of the mid-card championships. With Ryback, the only feud he's really had is Jinder, and I'm just thinking now, this could be a good way to go because Ryback's been winning all his matches. He needs a direction eventually. Yes, I want it to be Big Show, but going for Miz's belt, it is direction. I just wonder when they're going to do it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that feud going down the line. But it looks like they're going to have Ryback and Miz in a feud. Santino versus Dolph Ziggler. Couple of interesting observations here. Dolph Ziggler has been getting some very, very good reactions lately. Vicky Guerrero at least aided Dolph Ziggler to win this match, but against Santino, why does he need a distraction to beat him? That's my question.
That is a question, but my question is, you've seen Ziggler starting to go against main eventers, top guys, then one Raw after the pay-per-view, he's going against someone like Santino, so I'm thinking, are you really running out that much wrestlers to put Ziggler in the same kind of area? And this match, throughout the match, there's many times when I thought, Santino's got this, Ziggler's struggling here, and I just thought, this isn't making Ziggler look anywhere decent.
And I agree with you. I think the match really shouldn't have been as competitive as it was, but at the end of the day, Dolph Ziggler, I'm not sure what they're going to do with him now, but I guess they wanted to give him a win on this Raw to make him look strong after the defeat to Orton at Night of Champions. That's all I can really think of here. So we had Wade Barrett next on Raw, which we was very happy about at the time, despite the fact they fucked up his return, versus Justin Gabriel. Now, I have a couple of questions here for WWE. You've packaged this guy as a bare-knuckle fighter, so why is he wearing wrestling trunks? And also, has Wade Barrett's character or in-ring persona or style really changed that much, other than other than him going like that occasionally? Really, has it changed that much? Because it really doesn't feel like it has.
The thing about Barrett is that he cut a kind of quite strong promo saying what direction he's going to go in. And yes, he's probably going to say that for SmackDown of all shows. I was expecting a promo here, but when I look at this Barrett, I do think there's a chance that he's still going to make it towards the main belt, but I think they're doing it in a bit of a bad direction for my liking.
Judging by the way they've done it, it doesn't look like they're setting up for Wade Barrett at all, especially when they had him in this match against Justin Gabriel. And again, this match was just way too long and way too competitive. You have a guy who's just like Justin Gabriel who's down there. Wade Barrett, who you want to push up here, he should be squashing him in a minute, 2 minutes, not having a 5-minute match with the guy. I'm sorry, it's not the way you establish a new character. Tag team title match, rematch from the pay-per-view, Kane and Daniel Bryan versus Truth Boom. No surprise really here that Kane and Daniel Bryan retained the belts, and that was the correct decision really. The way the match ended, Daniel Bryan steals Kane's pin to get the win, and they both think they're the tag team champions. But to be honest, NJ, I'm the tag team champion.
We all know I am, so don't start this.
Dan. Ego.
Anyway, think about this. I had a thought that eventually they screw up, they win it on the pay-per-view, because they're anger management, they could lose on the Raw. And the fact it was little Jimmy's birthday or party thing going on, I thought it's all adding up to little screw up here. But I'm really glad that Kane and Daniel Bryan retained, because now this is going to give probably Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara, or primetime players, whichever direction they go in, they're going to give them a somewhat of a decent match against two ex or still main eventers.
Yeah, and Daniel Bryan and Kane, Daniel Bryan especially, is still getting some very good reactions from the crowd. So I can't really deny the fact that they make some pretty good tag team champions, and the writers have to write for them too. So there you go. Also, I will say this as well. Don't you think Terminator NJ and Evil Fool Killer make a great tag team in this anger management course?
Well, even though they both have an anger, as we've seen previously, I do think if they put their differences to the side, they could become one hell of a strong team.
Oh, good. Especially after those tweets you had on Twitter. God damn, that was some intense stuff. Speaking of intense stuff, oh god. For the second show in a row, we have Randy Orton versus Tensai. Did you care?
Okay, roll! 1, 2, 3! That's it. Next.
Did you really give a shit about this match?
No, I just did. What happened?
Orton won, and you kind of botched the RKO, but there we go. Yeah, Randy Orton wins. Yeah, that's all you need to know. That's all. And that is all you need to know! Yeah, so Damien Sandow got some promo time after this. I love Damien Sandow on the mic. He always puts a smile on my face, and he was trying to give people words they could use in their vocabulary until Zack Ryder comes out and says, shut up. That's my word, because that's my promo skills.
And think about Ryder, he's just gone over and put, in a way, Cesaro over. Now he's coming up to Sandow, so I guess he's trying to do a good job, even though the match at the pay-per-view and this match didn't really do much. The thing about this match is that Sandow, it was a bit of a longish match for Sandow, and I really thought that Ryder's not really at a place where he's going to be a centre of attention compared to Sandow, so I really thought Sandow should have got a quicker win, but we still got the good result that we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, Damien Sandow gets the victory essentially here. It got a lot of time. I can't help but feel that he got a lot of time because You know, because Raw was really, they were trying to get to that main event and they had to give it as much time as possible. My only issue with this, I guess, was the fact that Sandow won right after Ryder tried to do Ryder did the broski boot. I think they should really build to the finisher a little bit more, but Sandow wins, I'm happy with that. So we get to our main event of the evening. I must admit, I couldn't stay awake for this. The fact that Raw is 3 hours and the show just took a lot out of me, I couldn't stay awake for this. I really couldn't. It was Cena and Sheamus versus Punk and Del Rio. Do you really have any thoughts on the match, or would you rather talk about the finish?
Well, the thing I want to quickly say is that this match, it had good stuff in it, but nothing really stood out. In my opinion, the faces were coming out quite strongly, and the heels got their moves here and there. But I do like the fact that Heyman was still at ringside, so it definitely still teased more with Punk and Heyman.
Let me guess. Cena won? Did he win? Because I didn't see the match, I'm just guessing.
Sadly, he won, but he shouldn't have won because it wrapped up in a way where they were laying directly beneath the rope, so you knew what was going to come. But the referee played blindfold here, and Cena got the win, even though Punk's foot was on the rope on the back of two.
But on stemming from that also, this was also had something to do with the #1 contendership. AJ said that whoever won here would be in line for another #1 contendership. Now, I think out of Del Rio and Cena, you think Del Rio is going to move away from that title scene now, hopefully, and Cena will still be in his feud with CM Punk. So it made sense for him to get the pin here under the circumstances. But Punk's foot being on the rope, I guess they're trying to get over this whole disrespect thing and everything. I don't really know. It was a semi-interesting way of ending a kind of dull match for me. I mean, I fell asleep. I mean, how much duller can you get than putting me to sleep in it? In a main event segment on Raw after 3 fucking hours.
Thing is, I don't really see this as much of a main event, even though like I said how I would have done probably this match, a singles match between Del Rio and Cena, even though we've seen it before. It's just so it's different than a tag match. But again, this main event didn't excite me, and the thing at the end, we still had about 10 minutes, between 5 and 10 minutes left.
God.
And all we had was them walking up the ramp, talk to the ref.
Thank God that it didn't go into a 15-minute fucking overrun this week. I can't stand the overruns on 3-hour shows. Just end it at 4 AM, please, or whatever time it is down there. So yeah, your overall thoughts on this edition of Monday Night Raw then?
It's gained some direction, but they've probably got 6 weeks left. I don't think these directions are going to last long. I think some of them are going to get blown on TV, and that's a bit of a shame. Hell in a Cell, we're not sure what the big Hell in a Cell match is going to be.
Probably Cena Punk again, essentially.
That might be one of them, but we don't know what direction in these 6 weeks is going to go. But overall, Raw didn't really give me the hope that the next few weeks into Hell in a Cell are going to be strong enough, because this is the first week where they could have kicked something off or booked the first match or something like that just to give us a kickstart.
I mean, there is 6 weeks left. I mean, if you look at it from a logical standpoint, you know, you did get some direction going into the future, going into Hell in a Cell, but overall, this show for me, it just felt kind of generic, bland. It kind of felt like the writers were kind of on simple button this week or something. I don't really know, but yeah, it was just a bit of a meh Raw for me, and again, the 3-hour thing really does contribute towards that. So yeah, I didn't think this was that great of a Raw personally, not even... I mean, I fell asleep in the main event. I mean, that's the bit of the show I shouldn't be falling asleep in, but I still did. And that just shows you how much this, you know, how much the 3rd hour really does kill the show, in my opinion, because it's just filler until the main event, essentially.
The one thing we did wrong on YouTube is, I will admit this now, even though I wouldn't really do it, but I would do it for this video, we should have wore pink, because they still carry on the cancel thing, which was really good for them.
Yeah, it was.
And we got a lot of feedback from King, Lawler. It was very nicely done. So I'll say with those packages, they did good with them.
Do you have any pink shirts? Because I don't. I really should. I really should explore my feminine side a little bit more. Do you have? I don't have any pink shirts. Shame.
I don't know.
No, yes, anyway, that's our thoughts on this edition of Raw. You may comment your thoughts down in the comment section below. And also, go subscribe to Terminator Ninja's YouTube. That'll be interesting, but I don't know when he's going to put up his first video, but who really knows?
Well, just keep going, because obviously the more support he gets, the more he's going to do stuff to us and other people.
Yeah, probably so. So the more you support him, the more he does stuff to us. Yeah, that's a bit of a negative way of looking at it, isn't it? But there we go. So yes, like we said, thank you for very much for watching this video. I'll pass you on to NJ.
And from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, and Terminator NJ somewhere, thank you very much for watching this video. And until next time, YouTubers, goodbye.